911, what is your emergency?
And he's smashing the shit out of my car with a crowbar.
Okay. Someone smashing your car with a crowbar?
Yeah, I'm thinking he has a gun too.
My partner took a call from a woman who said that there was a man in front of her house beating her car with a crowbar, and that she didn't see any weapons, but she thought she had heard a shot.
Do you know him?
No, I don't know him. Get the cops here quick.
Why do you think he has a gun?
Well, he's beating the shit out of my car. I heard a shot. I have a brand new Chrysler. He's beating the windows out of it right now.
The initial woman said that she saw the crowbar, thought he had a gun because she heard a shot. Immediately, my thought was that the striking of the vehicle may have sounded like a shot. We dispatched the units to the location for vandalism in progress.
Hey, ma'am, my partner's already started help. Can you describe him to me?
He's white. He's on a rampage. He's going nuts. He's screaming.
Can you tell what he's yelling?
Obscenities.
Okay, what's he wearing?
A striped T-shirt.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of weapons he has, but I know he's still beating the shit out of my car. And he's been running around the neighborhood for a while.
Been a training officer at that time for about 2.5 years. And Deputy Rabatsky had been with me about that was our 7th day training together. We decided to take a break and just get out of our patrol car, kind of stretch our legs for a little bit when the call came in.
461, we're 1098, go ahead.
594 in progress. Female advising subject is smashing her car with a crowbar. She states that she believes he has a gun because she heard a shot. Claims not to know the subject, no weapon seen other than the crowbar.
While my partner was still on the phone with the original reporting party, I took a call from a second reporting party who was a few houses down, who said that the man was trying to break into his car and that he had a gun and that he was firing shots.
911 emergency, what are you reporting?
I'm reporting somebody trying to break into my car in front of my house.
In your car?
In my car.
Who's out there?
I don't know. It's a guy with a gun.
How do you know that?
I see him out the front window.
My wife and I were watching TV. It was about 7 o'clock in the evening. We heard some racket out in front of the house. My wife looked out the blinds and saw that there was somebody out there beating on our car with a rifle. And I looked out there, and this guy was really freaking out. So my wife told me, phone 911.
2311. He's shooting a gun now.
He's shooting a gun, and he's in front of 2340?
Yeah, Beach Street.
Okay, stay in the house. We have help on the way.
The second reporting party was very clear that he saw a weapon. And about the time that I answered that phone call, the deputies were arriving on scene and clearly stated that there was a subject with a gun.
Once the deputies arrived, I felt that the situation was going to be under control and it was going to be taken care of.
I think I saw the sheriff.
Okay, you saw him?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and stay inside until they detain him.
Yeah, they're pulling their weapons.
The feeling in the room was very tense. These are people that we work with. They're family to us.
And as we exited the vehicle, Taylor's, again, he was driving, and he immediately notified me or said, he's got a gun.
You got a rifle? Right there. Hey, put the rifle down!
I drew my weapon, my pistol, my sidearm, and came around the backside of our patrol car to look further down the street where Taylor was looking.
Put the rifle down! Put it down!
He started advancing on us, and it was clear that he had a rifle in his hand.
Put it down! Put it down!
Man down.
Here's man down. Here's man down.
When the deputies got on scene, I believe they reported that there was shots fired and a man down, and asked for an ambulance. At that point, I didn't know who was down. There's always a moment of concern when you hear man down on a police radio and that man isn't identified immediately. The watch commander actually came into the room and asked me, find out which man is down, and before I could ask the question, they came back and said it was the suspect.
Copied, suspect down.
We then approached him, triangulated and approached him, and waited until our backup arrived.
Watch his hand. Watch his hand. Don't move. Don't move.
You could see that he had one gunshot wound to the chest and that he needed treatment for that. I didn't recognize the subject, and I'd worked in our South County area for probably 15 years at that point.
It would be my fault, motherfuckers. Just kill me.
We're not gonna kill you.
Oh.
Well, during this time, he was asking us to kill him and told us that he didn't want to live.
I wish I would die.
No, you don't.
24 feet sign to keep anybody from coming into the scene.
We noticed that he had lacerations on his wrists, and that he was acting as if he'd been drinking.
Why do you care about me?
We care about you. We're here to help you, man.
I don't know why I tried to kill you guys. I just hate the society. They all tried to hurt me. Oh, God.
Relax, all right?
We waited with him until medics arrived. When they arrived, they put him on a backboard and transported him to the emergency room.
When we went outside, after the deputies took him away, we learned the guy's identity, that he was our next door neighbor. He was 19 years old. He was a plumber, and he got laid off of his job. Then he was despondent, so he was taking these pills from the psychiatrist apparently, and drinking vodka. Between the medications and the liquor, it just caused him to go crazy. The hardest part of this was watching somebody get shot. It's hard seeing that live, up close and personal.
If a citizen hadn't seen what the subject was doing and then immediately called to alert the sheriff's department and for law enforcement to respond to stop this person from what he was doing, someone could have been injured or killed that night.